Hey guys, welcome back to another episode here on The Realm, and we're going to pick up where we left off at the end of last episode. We are stocked up on rockets after visiting the creeper farm, but we still got some tools that we need to mend. These are tools that we've been using to mine out areas over at the witch farm, so I'm going to show you the zombie pigman farm while we mend up some tools and do a little bit of enchanting while we're over there as well. And then we're going to head back over to the witch farm project and start building up the actual farms around those witch huts. So I've also got some materials here that we're going to be needing to build up those farms around the witch huts. I'm sure that we're going to be needing more, and I'm going to have to be taking multiple trips back here to the base to get other items, but I think that'll give us a good start on what we need. Also, I'm going to enchant a couple sets of boots while we're at the pigman farm. I'm expecting a couple of new players to join the realm to tour it a little bit, and I want to give them a little bit of armor whenever they're making their way around. So I'm going to grab some books here in my library. We're running low on feather falling. I need to get some more off of my villagers here before too long. See, we need a breaking and mending as well. I think that should do it. Okay, so we've got protection 4, feather falling 4, depth strider somewhere, unbreaking and mending. Perfect. I think that's all we need on them. Okay, let's go ahead and grab all of this, and we will head over to the pigman farm, which is not very far at all, actually. Right over here into the portal. So this farm is actually built up above the bedrock roof of the Nether. It's the best way to get really good rates out of a zombie pigman farm. It seems like there's always at least one way to break bedrock in the game, sometimes easier than others. The method right now involves using some TNT and pistons, and it's not that difficult. I was able to break this section here after about 3 or 4 attempts, and you can find videos on YouTube from different people on how to do that method. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a totem in the hand just in case something gets crazy up here. And I'm going to go ahead and head on up to the farm. In my opinion, this is the coolest farm in the game right now. You can see that it is a large donut-shaped farm with all of this cobble area on the outsides here being the spawning platforms for the pigmen. There's iron golems out on some of the blocks on the outside. So if magma cubes spawn in on those platforms, the iron golems pull them out and they fall down to their death. And then in these enclosed cobble areas are actually zombie pigmen. And the reason for those guys is because of the mechanics of zombie pigmen. Whenever you aggravate one zombie pigman, all of the other ones in the area will attack the player as well. So these guys are meant to always be there and retain that aggro as new pigmen continue to spawn in. So basically, the player stands in the spot, the AFK position in there. There's a little bit of eye line all around here where all of the pigmen can see the player. The player throws a snowball, hits one with a bow and arrow, a trident, whatever, and then they all rush in and they fall down right here. There's a bunch of minecarts down there. There is a mechanic in the game that's called entity cramming. What that means is that there can only be so many entities or mobs within a 1 block space, and it's set at 24. So there are 24 minecarts down in each one of these things, and then the next entity or zombie pigman that falls down in there will immediately die. So that's how it works. But to get up in this little area in here and get it going, I got to be careful whenever flying down in here to not land where all those minecarts are, or else I'll be instantly killed. Okay, here I am. This trapdoor right here is the place where the player stands whenever operating the farm. You can see that you can see those guys out there that keep the aggro for the other ones. Whenever I hit them, I want to make sure not to hit those guys. I want to hit some of the ones that are closer on the platform. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break here while I pull out my ender chest, get my trident, get everything ready to go, and then I'll fire up this farm. Okay, so I'm ready to go here. I have my trident in my hand. I have my 2 shulkers that I have all the tools that I need to mend, and all the books and the boots that I'm going to enchant. And what I'm planning on doing here is loading in my camera account and doing a little bit of a time lapse as this is running and as I'm doing my thing. So I'm going to go ahead and trigger that time lapse, and I will see you guys in just a little bit. Okay, I am fully mended up. Got all of my tools over here mended up. Got my boots enchanted that I wanted to. I'm gonna go ahead and hop off the platform here and let the last of these remaining zombie pigmen die off and get the little bit of XP that's still coming in. Okay. Gotta wait down here just a little bit so those pigmen on the far platforms make sure to lose their aggro. I'm gonna go ahead and grab these shulkers. Got all the XP. I'm gonna come down here to the sorting system, make sure everything's running smoothly. So all of their drops run down into these hoppers and chests and go down into a sorting system that sorts out all of the different items. Okay, this one is completely bogged down. We're full on nuggets. Got quite a few bars. The swords all come down here and they are fed into blast furnaces, and then that is smelted down into nuggets. So we get quite a bit of gold from running this thing. There really wasn't all that much in this system as far as the gold nuggets whenever we started. So that goes to show you, just after running this thing for about 15 minutes, how much gold you get out of this thing. So I am going to transfer all of this gold over into gold blocks, and then I will be right back. So we got just over a stack of gold blocks during our time here at the farm. So this is why this is the best farm, in my opinion, in the game. You get a really good resource being those gold blocks, and you get unlimited AFK XP. Hopefully, with a 1.16 Nether update, it will not completely break this farm. The maker of this farm, Ilmango, has mentioned in a couple of his videos that he believes that this farm will just need a little bit of a change to make it so the Nether update and the new mobs do not completely break it. And he has mentioned that changing all of these spawning platforms to magma blocks should make it so the farm still works with the new update coming out. So let's go ahead and head on back to my base. Let's empty all of the gold that we got, drop off a few items, and then let's head over to the witch farm project. I'm back over here at the site of my witch farm project that I'm currently working on. And before I do anything over here, I want to quickly give credit to my base mate Kawhi Ryu, who built that gold farm that I just showed you. And also, like I said, Ilmango was the designer of that farm, and I will put the link down in the description of the tutorial video if you want to try to build that in your own world. And also, Kawhi had the comment from last video that I liked the most in regards to naming this guy here, and that name is Midnight. So, my buddy here is officially named Midnight. It is finally time to start building up the farms around these witch huts. And the design that I've chosen for these farms was made by, surprise, surprise, Ilmango. Yes, he has a video that has a design for witch hut farms that involve tripwires that detect whenever the witches spawn on the spawning platforms and shift the floors so they fall down, land on hoppers, and they die and their items are collected. Then I think I'm going to have some water tubes. They're going to pipe all the drops over to the middle area where the player is going to be. And that's going to be for the other witch hut farm as well. So we'll have two of them with pipes coming over here and bringing all the drops to the central area. We'll have a bunch of chests. So the start of this is actually going to be building up a scaffold so I can get a little bit of a working platform underneath this farm. Okay, so we've got a crude dirt platform here. That's going to be the base for this build. Scaffold up from the bedrock to build it, and now I'm going to scaffold up from it to build the farm itself. And Ilmango says that we can fit 3 layers of spawning platforms in the bounding box of the witch hut, each of them being 7 by 9. So I'm going to go ahead and outline those spawning platforms in dirt, as well as take down the hut itself before building the farm with the final blocks. And I will be right back whenever I'm finished with that. The temporary dirt platforms are in place. I went ahead and slabbed the bottom one and capped off the beacon to make it nice and dark. I stepped back a little bit and we have witch spawns, which is a great sign that we are on the right path. So the next step is going to be start constructing these platforms with the final materials and building the case around the farm. So I will cut back in whenever I've made a little bit more progress. We have been busy since the last clip. It's actually the next day that I'm recording this segment, and I've been working off and on this since then. It's a fairly complex mechanism we have here. And it's definitely the most redstone intensive build that I've ever done. I'm praying that it is going to work properly whenever we get it all done. I'm going to build the last little bit on camera here. You can kind of get an idea of what's going on with this. Had to take many trips back to the base to make more components, observers mostly. I mean, there are just dozens of observers used in this build. Lots of pistons, repeaters. Okay, here. We're missing something. Okay, we've got rails that we need to put over here. Powered rails to activate these observers. Over here on this platform and see how this looks. I'll describe a little bit of how this farm is supposed to operate. Just taking a little look here, make sure that it looks like I've got all the components in that I need to. I think that I do. I've still got to put a little bit more string over there. I saved that so I can show you how that works. Where there's a string. Go back up top. And using a ton of rockets like usual flying around here. Good thing I've got that creeper farm. Oh. Okay, well, it's the first time I've landed on the platform with all the redstone in. It sounded like it was working, maybe. We'll get a closer look at it here in a minute once I get this done. Okay, so the idea of this farm is that the witches spawn on the spawning platform, and soul sand is just 1 pixel or so shy of a full block. And whenever the witches are standing here, and whenever they spawn in, the string that's stretched across here connecting to the tripwires will trip, and it will cause this floor to shift, and they will get stuck on that 1 pixel difference and actually kind of glitch into these blocks and fall through. So they spawn in, the tripwire trips, it causes the shifting, they fall through, and then it proceeds through the next couple of spawning layers. So this will shift, they'll drop, the next one will shift, and they'll drop, and it'll keep on going. So I've got to put the last little bit of string in here, and it's fairly hard to tell where you've placed it. The good thing is whenever you've got it all the way across, the trip wires on the sides kind of go down in place like that. You know that you've got them. And the purpose of these trapdoors is to actually hold the witches in place. So whenever the floors shift, they're not just sliding around. Okay, one there, got that one in. And it's hard to see the string right at the end here. There, and there. I think I have it. I'm going to try to step on these platforms and let's see if I fall through. Not exactly, no. Maybe it's different for mobs. It's clearly working. Okay. I am going to build up the next part of the mechanism. There is a little bit of a redstone clock that works as a failsafe in case the witches get stuck on the side of the blocks. It trips occasionally as well, so I'm going to build that up and then I'll be right back. The hopper clock mechanism is in place, and that should conclude the redstone for this build. I've started enclosing it with glass blocks so the witches can't fall off the spawning platforms. Got to enclose the rest of this area and then put a roof over top of it so it's always dark and able to spawn witches. And then I've got to work on the drop tube and the collection area. I do know that this farm is working because I tried to sleep away the night whenever I'm out here, but I was a little late one time and a witch did spawn on there and it triggered and it fell all the way through to the bottom platform. It went all the way through all the spawning platforms. so I know that it is working, but we will have to wait until next episode to show you guys and see it in its full force. I really appreciate you guys watching the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I enjoy seeing your guys' comments down in the comments section. If you drop a like, I'd really appreciate that. And if you consider subscribing to see more content like this in the future. And I will see you guys in the next one. Later.